Welcome to this explainer. If you're a procurement engineer, an international buyer, or an OEM systems designer, you already know that the heartbeat of literally any major industrial operation is its filtration system. It's absolutely crucial. Today, we're outlining a very specific capabilities blueprint. We're going to examine the infrastructure, the engineering, and the sheer manufacturing power required to secure a globally competitive, European market-ready filtration partner. Specifically, we're looking at the capabilities of Tempo Filch and really positioning them as a strategic choice as we look ahead to the Filtech 2026 trade fair.
Okay, let's dive into this. For all you procurement engineers and buyers out there, here's our highly structured game plan today. We'll start with a quick welcome to Tempo Filter, cover their decades of expertise, and then explore their product portfolio. Next, we'll hit engineering and quality assurance, and finally wrap up with exactly why they should be your Filtech 2026 partner.
Section 1. Welcome to Tempo Filter. Let's establish the foundation of this Turkish manufacturing powerhouse. So, operating from this absolutely massive, modern production center in Istanbul, Turkey, Tempo Filtre has been a premier Turkish manufacturer since 1995. Their singular driving goal is making the world cleaner. And as you can clearly see, this facility is explicitly engineered for the serious volume required to be a reliable industrial partner. And everything they do operates under one central philosophy, which is the rhythm of reliable filtration. You see, their mission isn't just about bending metal or pleating paper, right? It's fundamentally about protecting your critical processes. Whether we're talking about the air your operators breathe, the hydraulic fluids powering your heavy machinery, or your plant's environmental emissions, Tempo Filter's whole focus is on delivering safe, sustainable, and high-performance solutions directly to you. Section 2. Decades of expertise. Now we transition to the second phase of our blueprint, focusing on their proven track record. 30 plus. That number right there represents over 30 years of deep, hands-on industry expertise. I mean, you don't just survive 3 decades in highly demanding sectors like heavy equipment, automotive, and metalworking without consistently delivering the goods. They've literally spent over 30 years navigating the most complex, high-pressure filtration processes you can imagine. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how that 30 years of experience translates into massive logistical reality today. Tempo Filter currently exports to more than 25 countries as a trusted primary supplier to major OEM firms globally. And crucially, they have the flexible manufacturing agility to back it up. We're talking about handling everything from specialized, small-scale runs for exceptionally harsh environments, all the way up to massive continuous production for major OEM distribution. It's the whole shebang.
Section 3. The product portfolio. Let's pick up the pace a bit and look at the vastness and technical precision of their specialized products toolkit.
Just look at the visual evidence of their robust product finishes here. Their product lines cover multiple intensive industrial demands. On one side, their pleated bag filters are designed for heavy-duty dust control, utilizing advanced media like PTFE membranes, nanofiber, and anti-static options, which, as you know, is absolutely vital for the metalworking industry. And on the other, their precision microglass hydraulic filters are engineered to meet strict OEM standards. They provide superior particle retention for pressure, return, and suction line applications to keep your system's fluids perfectly clean. So, when optimizing dust collection, geometry essentially dictates performance. Let's walk through the logic of this table. A bottom loader gives you maximum filtration area. An oval cartridge specifically optimizes airflow and drastically improves pulse jet cleaning efficiency. For minimizing downtime, twist lock panettes offer quick, tool-free installation. The engineering logic here is super clear. These specific pleated bag geometries minimize pressure drop and actually expand your effective facility footprint by packing massive filtration power into a highly compact volume. It's like a giant puzzle they've perfectly solved for you. This all builds into an incredibly broad manufacturing capacity. I mean, they offer over 1,000 standard cartridge configurations. That is a massive off-the-shelf portfolio covering inline, return, suction, and standard dust collection needs. But here's the kicker. They perfectly contrast this standard volume with the incredible ability to engineer entirely bespoke, fully custom, application-specific geometries from the ground up. And that custom capability is officially called the Tempo Special Series. Think about it. If your operation involves a non-standard dimension, a highly volatile chemical environment, or just incredibly extreme temperatures, standard filters simply aren't going to cut it. The Tempo Special Series is their dedicated response to that. If you have a harsh, demanding environment, this series provides the exact reverse design and engineering answer you need to guarantee precision fit and performance.
Section 4. Engineering and Quality Assurance. Let's slow things down a second to emphasize the uncompromising standards that ensure consistent reliability.
And this brilliantly illustrates their advanced in-house precision production lines. You know, at Tempo Filtre, ISO 9001 quality standards are not just some certificate hanging on a wall. They are deeply embedded into every single stage of their operations. Their promise is simple, but as we all know, incredibly difficult to execute in practice. The same standard in every filter.
So how do they actually achieve that? Well, they follow a rigorous 3-step development journey. Step 1 is raw material verification. Before anything is built, media is systematically tested for things like air permeability, porosity, and flame resistance. Then, Step 2 is in-process monitoring. Their engineering teams use advanced software design and simulation to predict performance. Finally, Step 3 is final product validation, just to ensure absolute OEM standard compliance. It proves their claim is backed up by real laboratory excellence.
This entire process is powered by their advanced in-house testing laboratories. By predicting performance and reducing energy losses through simulation before production even begins, they act as a massive, massive cost saver for you, their OEM partners. Furthermore, they are deeply committed to sustainability. They focus heavily on energy-efficient designs and integrate recyclable materials right into their manufacturing supply chain to protect the environment. It's a win-win. Section 5. Your Filtech 2026 partner. Let's move to our final section and look at why they are the strategic choice for the upcoming trade fair.
So the crucial point is, when you partner with a manufacturer, you need way more than just a vendor. You need a collaborator. Tempo Filtre combines deep engineering know-how, advanced digital simulation innovation, and seamless industrial teamwork. They don't just supply parts, they integrate into your supply chain to serve both your industry's heavy demands and our shared planet's environmental needs.
So, ask yourself, are your critical operations truly protected by a reliable, globally competitive OEM filtration partner right now, like for sure? If you hesitate to answer yes, well, it's time to upgrade your operations. To all the international buyers and procurement engineers listening, make it a priority to step into the Tempo Filtre booth at Filtech 2026. Come inspect these solutions firsthand and start a powerful new partnership.